Investigations are ongoing into the motive behind a knife attack in the southern German city of Würzburg 3 days ago, when a man killed 3 women. Authorities are examining his mental health and whether he was radicalized. NTD's Eddie Aiken has the story.
German police arrested a man who stabbed 2 passers-by in the East German city of Erfurt on Monday. The incident comes amid investigations into a knife attack in the Bavarian city of Würzburg 3 days ago. On Friday, a man went on a rampage, killing 3 women and seriously injuring 5 others. The suspect is a 24-year-old Somali immigrant. His rampage was halted when police overpowered him. One bystander reacts.
Ganz fürchterlich, muss ich Ihnen wirklich sagen.
Terrible, I have to say. You never think something like that could happen, and in such a brutal manner, as we have heard. As you can see, it still moves me to tears.
The man went into a store and asked an assistant where the knives were. He then grabbed a knife and fatally stabbed 3 women in the store before continuing to attack people outside. Authorities are looking into mental health problems he had in the past, as well as any Islamist motive for the attack. Police found the man's phone and pamphlets with hateful messages during a search of the homeless shelter where he lived. And one police officer said they heard him shouting Allahu Akbar, an Arabic phrase often associated with acts of Islamist terrorism when used by attackers.
It is not a question of whether he had psychological problems or whether he was radicalized. We are not sure of either one at the moment. The indicators for both do not necessarily rule one another out. There are people who have both.
He said this must be the subject of further investigation. Bystanders cornered the man before police shot him in one leg and overpowered him. The Bavarian governor acknowledged and thanked one of those bystanders personally.
That they have the courage to get involved even at the expense of their own risk, to help others without seeming to be obligated. I just find that, as bad as the day is, it's such a small glimmer of hope.
Officials said he didn't have a criminal record, but there were 2 incidents earlier this year that resulted in him being sent to a psychiatric hospital. Eddie Aitken, NTD News.
European farmers have more certainty going forward. EU negotiators struck a deal on reforms to the bloc's huge farming subsidy programme, with measures to protect small farms and to curb agriculture's environmental impact. NTD's El Rhodes brings us the details.
European Union countries on Monday gave the green light to reforms of the bloc's farming subsidy programme. This comes after a 3-year battle over rules to make it greener and to better support small farms. Negotiators struck the deal on Friday to reform the Common Agricultural Policy, or CAP. CAP has a budget of over £330 billion for payments to farmers and rural development. That's roughly a third of the EU's budget. One EU commissioner evaluated the deal.
But if you look at it from a truly European perspective, which is all change is evolution, is reform and not revolution, I think we have reached today a real game changer with this agreement.
The new CAP will require countries to spend 20% on farmers from 2023 on eco-schemes. It doesn't define an eco-scheme, but examples could include organic farming. The Commission will then assess whether countries' plans for spending funds comply with EU environment laws. The deal also says EU countries must redistribute at least 10% of CAP funds to smaller farms. Some farmers' associations, like dairy farmers, welcome the agreement. But campaigners and some EU lawmakers say key environmental protections in the deal are too weak or voluntary. The new CAP rules apply from 2023 and do not cover Britain following its exit from the EU. Earl Rhodes, NTD News.
Swedish Prime Minister Stefan Löfven resigned today after becoming the first Swedish leader to lose a confidence vote in Parliament last week. Löfven had been given a deadline of midnight tonight to either step down or call a snap election.
Med 1 år kvar till ordinarie val
With 1 year left until the election, and taking into account the extraordinary situation the country is in with an ongoing pandemic and the challenges that would bring, a snap election is not the best thing for Sweden.
Speaker Andreas Norlén will now have up to 4 attempts to find a new Prime Minister with enough backing from lawmakers. If he fails, a snap election must be called little more than a year ahead of scheduled polls in September 2022. And in other news, for the first time in 300 years, Rembrandt's famed The Night Watch is back on display in its original size. Researchers restored missing parts with the help of artificial intelligence. NTD's Joanne Robson tells us how it works.
This week, a new exhibition of The Night Watch opened to the public. Many have admired Rembrandt's famous painting at Amsterdam's Rijksmuseum. But probably not many know that what they saw was not its original size.
So about 300 years ago, the Night Watch was moved from its original place, the clubhouse of the Civic Guards, to the town hall where it had to fit in between 2 doors. It didn't fit, so the movers took scissors and cut on all sides strips off. The largest strip was about 60 centimeters, so quite a bit.
Those strips have not been found, but luckily, another artist of the time made a copy. With this copy and detailed photographs of the Night Watch, the museum used artificial intelligence to reconstruct the missing pieces. The software learned by trying millions of times to approximate Rembrandt's style and colours.
So this is the final result. What you can see here is that if I show you the Night Watch currently ends here at the back of his helmet. So everything to the left of this is the reconstruction.
The missing parts were then printed and hung to overlap the original work without touching it. The museum's director explains the effect Rembrandt possibly intended.
On the left-hand side, there's 3 bystanders, 2 men and a child that looks over the balustrade to what's happening in the main scene. And they, like us, look at the painting. So in a way, Rembrandt makes it's a circle. We stand here, they stand on the side, and you really get drawn into the painting by them.
Rembrandt's 1642 painting portrays the captain of an Amsterdam militia, ordering his men into action. It's considered one of the great masterpieces of the Dutch Golden Age. The exhibition is on for the next 3 months. Joanne Robson, NTD News.
Luxury car maker Ferrari has a new hybrid sports car out, but it still sounds like a Ferrari. It can go from 0 to 62 in just under 3 seconds. NTD's Patrick Hayden takes a look.
Ferrari unveiled a new hybrid electric car on Thursday, but it still has the distinctive roaring engine sound. The 296 GTB is Ferrari's 3rd hybrid to go into production, excluding limited edition vehicles.
This is the first time ever that we are using a V6 engine hybrid on a road car carrying the Ferrari badge.
It follows the SF90 Stradale in 2019 and the SF90 Spider last year. The 296 GTB focuses less on performance and more on drivability.
But in this case, a specific effort has been put to make it the most fun to drive car in our product range.
It can go 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds, 0 to 124 miles per hour in 7.3 seconds, and a top speed of over 205 miles per hour. It can also produce 654 brake horsepower, which Ferrari claims is a new power output record for a production road car. Ferrari says its first fully electric model will be out in 2025. That's ahead of its arch rival Lamborghini, which is aiming for the second half of the decade. Like the SF90 Stradale, the 296 GTB can deliver only about 15 miles of silent electric-only power. First deliveries are expected in the first quarter of 2022, starting from Europe. Patrick Hayden, NTD News.
That's the news for today, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Stuart Lees. Thank you for watching our daily news show on YouTube. You can also watch our other programming on channel 190 on Sky TV or on Freeview via channel box on channel 271. In the meantime though, please give this video a like and hit subscribe to our channel. Have a good day.